I call to order the special meeting of the Warren County School Board for Thursday, March 26, 2015. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to invite all of those of you standing in the back to come forward if you can find a seat. There are a few in the front. I promise not to preach, so please come forward. The purpose of this meeting is to appoint and introduce the next superintendent of Warren County Public Schools. Before I turn it over to our lead in this search, I would like to thank all of the board members for all of their commitment and dedication to this project. I don't think any of us knew how time-consuming and involved this would be, and everyone pitched in. Sometimes we had to call a meeting the next morning, and everyone rearranged their schedules, and I thank you all, especially Mrs. Sharefko. She was our lead in this search, and as like anything she tackles, she put her all into it and did a fabulous job, so thank you all. And now I would like to turn it over to Mrs. Sharefko for some comments.
Thank you. When this school board first initiated its superintendent search last fall, we wanted the entire community as a whole to provide input into the qualities that it wanted the next superintendent of Warren County Public Schools to embody. Community members inside and outside the school system responded through a survey and interviews conducted by Real Synergy, whose representatives, Dr. David Martin and Dr. Rick Leonard, have spent countless hours working with us on this process and numerous days in Warren County to help facilitate this search. Through their invaluable guidance and expertise, they created a landscape that would eventually and clearly illuminate the best choice for superintendent of Warren County Public Schools. When we began this journey, we had no preconceived notions of who would be the successful candidate. We did know, however, that selecting a superintendent of schools was the most important decision school board members could make during their tenure on the board. We wanted to maintain open minds and allow this comprehensive process itself to help us make the right decision. As we would soon see, the process was fluid, and it provided us with diverse methods with which to gain insight regarding the viability of each candidate. With the guidance of Real Synergy, we developed an application that was much more intense and elaborate than most, and it served as the first in a series of effective screening instruments. Our board intensely reviewed 15 application packets in how many hours? I think we had a turnaround time of a day and a half, or 2 days. And we each individually ranked the candidates based on the profile that this community developed, and also on the excellence of the candidates' qualifications and responses to open-ended questions and essays. We decided to bring back the most outstanding applicants for a first interview, during which time each candidate had to respond to an hour-long writing prompt before being asked a lengthy series of questions that were based on all of the elements of the community-developed profile. That first slate of candidates included 2 sitting superintendents. After all of the first-round interviews were concluded, we decided which top candidates among that group had earned the right to come back for a second interview. At that point, we were very confident that we had several top candidates from which to choose. We toured schools with each final candidate and had an intense second interview, during which time each candidate had to make a presentation before answering many challenging and unanticipated questions. Lastly, we shared meals with them and their spouses. At one point during the final interview phase, it became very clear to each of us that only one candidate had displayed excellence in rising to each challenge and had exceeded our already high expectations and standards.
Being that this is my last public meeting and my last opportunity to make a motion on behalf of the board, I have the privilege of announcing the candidate and also making the motion. And the candidate that we have selected is Greg Drescher. He embodies all the qualities of our community wanted to have as their next superintendent, and is more than professionally prepared and extremely excited about moving our division to the next level of our treks to excellence. Therefore, it is my distinct honor and privilege to make the motion that we appoint Mr. Greg Drescher as the new superintendent at Warren County Public Schools effective July 1, 2015 at a salary of $154,000.
I second that motion.
Comments or discussion? Would anyone like to make a comment?
Good. We're good.
I would like to say that one of our biggest concerns that we've talked about in the past in our county is having qualified teachers that we lose to other counties. And it is so exciting to have someone from our county who is familiar with the school system, who has gotten us to rise above and beyond, taken us to where we are now. He came here in 1987 as a teacher, and then an assistant principal, then a principal, an instructional assistant, and it's glad to have. I'm glad to have someone from within. So we're excited. Mr. Drescher, would you like to make any comments?
Might want to vote on him first.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Wait a minute. We need to vote. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carries.
Well, this is a little overwhelming. I am deeply honored to serve the children and families of Warren County as the next superintendent of schools. I work with the finest teachers, administrators, and support staff around, and I look to continuing the good work that's underway as we help all of our students meet success in school and be ready for what follows after their K-12 education. I want to thank Pam McGinnis for her model of leadership. I've learned much working with her. I also want to thank the Warren County School Board for giving me this opportunity. The leadership of Pam and the school board has created many partnerships in our community that I hope will continue to grow and be strengthened as we all work together helping our students achieve to the highest levels they can. A strong and vibrant community has high-performing schools. My personal goal is to strengthen the opportunities for our students in our schools. This, in turn, strengthens the community. Our collective community's vision of being a great place to work, live, and play is why Debbie and I moved here 32 years ago. It's why we raised our family here, and it's why we continue to want to serve our community's children and their families as educators. Again, I'm deeply honored, and I look forward to doing more good work together. Thank you.
Thank you. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. There will be